So today we'll discuss about the glands. Okay, glands so তোদের practical খাতায় আঁকতে হয়. Okay, you have to draw some diagrams of glands in your histology practical copy. So first is the introduction. What is gland? Okay, so gland is a specialized group of cells that synthesizes and secretes the substances or hormones. Glands are derived from the epithelium and the mucus. Some glands are secrete mucus. Okay, so the terms, the spelling is important. Mucus is a noun. Okay, and mucus, mucus is an adjective. So mucus cells secrete mucus. Okay, so goblet cells are example of this mucus cells. See here, this is showing the development of the exocrine gland. First, from the surface epithelium, initial bud is formed. Okay, bud is first it is solid bud. Then this bud extends more deeply and it branches and forms the pseudoglandular stage. Okay, after that, these branchings are increasing and a canal is developed within the branchings. Okay, so this is canalicular stage and this is terminal bud stage. Okay, whole gland have been developed here. See, this is the canal, intercalated duct. Through the ducts, the secretion of the glands would be released to the surface or released for the exocrine glands. Okay, and see here, these cells are the mucus cells, larger cells with basal flattened nucleus and containing mucus material within some vesicles. Okay, and they are released into the lumen of the gland. And these are some serous demilunes. Serous cells are darker stained than the mucus cells because during tissue processing mucus is washed out. That's why it gives a empty look. Okay, mucus cells are light stained and it gives a empty look due to washing out of the mucus. And there are some myoepithelial cells around the glands. This helps in contraction of the acini. Okay, these are one of acini of the glands. See here, this is the bud stage. From the surface epithelium, initial buds are developing, capillaries are supplying these areas. This then it again grows more downward or more deeply. Then cell cluster lose contact with the surface epithelium, and this is development of endocrine gland. Okay, endocrine gland secretes the material directly into the blood. Previous one was exocrine gland. They were secreting the material into some surface or into some canal. Okay, but here this it is losing it contact with the epithelium, and you can say blood vessels are embedded, so blood, they secrete their secretion directly into the blood. Okay, understood? So that is the difference between the development of two types of glands. Acini is group of cells arranged in a certain pattern, in a rounded or oval or tubular pattern. We will discuss in details acini. Okay, classification of gland. Classification of glands comes in as a long question, important for your theory. Okay, you practice schematic diagrams of different classification, and it also you have to draw the examples of different glands in your histocopy. Okay, so you prepare as a long question, classification of glands. First, we are dividing the glands based on the number of cells. Okay, first is the unicellular glands and multicellular glands. Unicellular glands have single cell that performs the secretory function, and multicellular glands have group of cells. Okay, next, again another division is based on presence of duct. Okay, so first is exocrine gland. Exocrine gland, they use duct to convey their secretion. Okay, they have ducts. And endocrine gland, they do not have ducts and secrete the secretions directly into the blood. Okay, ductless glands. Next, based on the manner of secretion, all these you have to write down during the long question. Based on the manner of secretion, glands is divided into three main types. First is merocrine gland. Merocrine gland secrete by exocytosis. Apocrine glands secrete by shedding of the apical portion of the glands. Okay, apo and apical, you remember like this. Okay, apocrine gland secretes by shedding of apical portion of the gland. Holocrine gland, they secrete by disintegration of entire cell. Whole cell is destroyed. You remember like this. So three types: merocrine by exocytosis, apocrine by shedding of apical portion, and holocrine secrete by disintegration of entire cells. Okay, and for each of the classification you have to know some examples. Okay, we will discuss. See here, so glands are divided based on number of cells, unicellular and multicellular, according to the presence of duct: exocrine gland with duct, endocrine gland without duct, and manner of secretion: merocrine gland through exocytosis, apocrine gland, part of cell, apical portion is shedded, and holocrine gland, entire cell is destroyed to release the secretion. So now these are the different types of simple acinar glands. See here, this from the surface epithelium there is the duct, and this is the secretory portion. And this secretory portion, cells are arranged in a pattern that is known as acinus. Okay, if it is arranged in oval or circular pattern, it is known as acinus. In tubular pattern, then it will be tubular gland. Okay. So this is simple alveolar or acinar gland. It is not found in adult, present in the embryonic period during development of gland. Okay, during development, first this stage develop, then there will be multiple branching of the ducts and multiple acinus will form. Okay, so this is present in adults like this. Multiple acinus is there, and all the acinus are releasing the secretory material through the duct to the epithelium, exocrine gland. Okay. So this is simple branched acinar gland. Example is sebaceous gland. See, this is one hair follicle. Here the sebum is secreted from this sebaceous gland. Okay. So remember the example. Simple branched acinar is example is sebaceous gland. So here are the division. Classification of exocrine gland based on the duct branching and shape of the secretory unit. Okay. Simple glands and compound glands. Simple glands have unbranched ducts and compound glands have branched ducts. Then again they are divided according to the shape of the secretory portion. First is simple tubular. It has glandular portion is straight tubular. Example is intestinal glands. Okay, they are releasing into the crypts of liver cone. Okay, small intestine mainly they are present. Next is simple coiled tubular gland. Coiled tube is present as the secretory unit. Example is sweat glands. Okay, you remember these examples. Next is simple branched tubular. Branched tubular secretory unit. Example is gastric glands. Gastric pits are there and they are present. Next is simple branched acinar secretory unit. Example is the sebaceous gland. Okay. Next is we are going to compound glands. They have branched ducts. Compound tubular, compound acinar, compound tubuloacinar. Compound tubular secretory units. Examples is Brunner's gland of duodenum. These are specific for duodenum, Brunner's glands. And compound acinar secretory unit, exocrine part of the pancreas. Next is compound tubuloacinar secretory unit. Example is submandibular salivary gland. Okay, so remember this chart, very important. Okay. So simple glands have only one unbranched duct, no branching of the duct. Examples are crypts of liver cone present in the small intestine, sweat glands, fundic glands of the stomach, mucous glands of the urethra, and meibomian gland. Meibomian glands are sebaceous glands present in the eyelids. Okay. Next is compound glands. Compound glands have branching of the secretory duct. Examples are Brunner's gland of the duodenum, mammary gland, and submandibular gland. Okay. Next is tubular gland. Tubular gland secretory unit is tube shaped, straight. It is again divided according to it is straight, coiled, or branched. Okay. Examples are intestinal glands, sweat glands, simple coiled tubular gland, and gastric glands, Brunner glands. Okay. You remember that chart previously discussed. That is important. Next is acinar glands. Acinar glands secretory unit is spherical, round in cross section. Examples are exocrine part of pancreas and salivary glands. And alveolar glands secretory unit is flask shaped. That is the difference between acinar and alveolar. Sometimes these terms can be used synonymously. Okay, alveolar gland secretory unit is flask shaped, and acinar gland secretory unit is spherical. Or for tubular gland, secretory unit will be tubular in shape. Okay. And glands with distended secretory units are also called saccular glands. When the acinar glands become fully active or overactive, their secretory portion become flask shaped or even saccular, alveolar in shape. And for example, mammary gland and exocrine pancreas. Okay. During delivery of the baby, there would be secretion, breast milk secretion. During that period, the breast milk producing the glands, those will be converted from acinar to alveolar type. Okay. So next, these are the example. This is simple tubular gland. You can see the secretory unit is tubular in shape. Examples is intestinal gland of the appendix. Okay, it looks like this. Next, here it has been shown simple coiled tubular gland. Here, this duct is coiled. Secretory unit is also coiled. Okay, merocrine sweat gland. Example is merocrine sweat gland. Next here, simple branch tubular gland. These schematic diagrams you have to draw in your histocopy, okay, for each of the glands. This is for simple tubular gland, this is simple coiled tubular gland, this is simple branch tubular gland. So, simple branch tubular gland examples are gastric glands, mucous glands of esophagus, tongue and duodenum. And here it has been shown pyloric glands of the stomach, okay, gastric glands. See here the secretory unit, simple branch tubular. Duct has branch, but the secretory unit is tubular, okay. Next is compound alveolar or acinal glands. Branching of the duct is present, that's why compound, and secretory unit is alveolar or acinar type according to the activity of the gland. Okay, less active there will be acinar and more active alveolar. Okay, so these are the secretory units of the pancreas, exocrine pancreas. This is example of this compound alveolar or acinar glands. And in between this exocrine part, these are the islets of Langerhans. These are the endocrine part of the pancreas. Okay, so pancreas is a mixed gland. It has a both exocrine part and endocrine part. Next is compound tubular gland. Here compound duct has branching and tubular secretory unit is tubular. So example is Brunner's gland of the duodenum. See, these are the sections of Brunner's gland. They are lying in the submucous tissue of the duodenum. Next is compound tubuloalveolar. Okay, here duct has branching, that's why compound tubuloalveolar. Some part secretory unit is tubular and at some part secretory unit is alveolar. So this is a compound tubuloalveolar gland. Example is submandibular gland. See, these are the acini of glands. Okay, some are mucous acini. This light colored one are the mucous acini. A deep colored one are the serous acini. And along with the mucous acini, there is some serous demilunes. Okay, these are the serous demilunes. Demilunes, half moon shaped structure formed by serous cells. Okay, now this is photomicrograph of simple tubular gland here. This is appendix, okay, histological section of appendix, simple tubular gland. From the surface epithelium, it is embedding within the substance, connective tissue substance. And here is sebaceous gland, simple branched acinar glands. Okay. Next here, simple coiled tubular gland, merocrine zoid gland. As it is coiled, one single gland has multiple section. When section will be taken, one single coiled tube will have multiple section at different levels. And here is simple branch tubular gland, glands of pyloric part of the stomach here. Okay, simple branch tubular. Next is compound alveolar or acinar gland is the pancreas, exocrine part. This is exocrine part of the pancreas, and this is some part of the endocrine part. And here is compound tubular gland. There is tubular secretory portions, branching tubular glands, Brunner's glands of the duodenum. Example is Brunner's gland. Next, it is submandibular gland. You can see it will look like this under the microscope. Okay, submandibular gland. It is a mixed type of salivary gland because it is containing both the serous acini and mucous acini. See here, the lightly stained structures are the mucous acini and deeply stained structures are the serous acini. Okay, and see the difference for the mucous acini, nucleus is flattened and lying towards the basal portion. And for serous acini, they are deep stained and nucleus is lying near the center of the cell. And these are section of duct, secretory material are coming out through the duct. Okay, and here one serous demilunes have been shown over the mucous acini. So, a classification based on nature of secretion, serous glands secrete protein-rich watery secretion. Okay, this you remember. Serous glands mean watery secretion. Mucous gland will secrete mucus. Serous gland has serous acini as a secretory unit and lined by pyramidal shaped simple columnar epithelium. And these are the identification features of the serous glands. It has rounded basal nuclei located near the basal lamina that I have told. See here, this is serous glands. These are the nuclei. Violet dots are nuclei. Okay, nucleus are placed towards the basal region. And see for the serous acini, this is one serous acini, darkly stained and nucleus are not placed that much basal. Near the middle of the cell they are present and nucleus is almost rounded in shape. So, serous acini are lined by pyramidal shaped simple columnar cells. Identification features are rounded basal nucleus located near the basal lamina, large amount of rough endoplasmic reticulum for protein synthesis lie in the basal region of the cells, and it gives basal basophilia stained with hematoxylin. And well-developed Golgi complex and many secretory vesicles, these are containing zymogen granules, lie in the apical region of the cells and gives apical eosinophilia due to this zymogen granules and stained with eosin. Eosin means it will be more pink, towards the basal region more violet and towards the apical region more pink. Okay. Next we are going to mucous glands. Mucous glands secrete thick mucoid secretions. Serous watery secretion. Okay. Mucous gland has mucous acini as the secretory unit. Mucous acini are lined by pyramidal shaped simple columnar epithelium. And mucous acinus has wider lumen than the serous acinus. Example is the sublingual salivary gland. Okay. Identification feature is flat, elongated, basally placed nucleus. Empty cytoplasm. Synthesize and store the mucus in the form of mucinogen granules, and these granules are lost during tissue processing for slide preparation for HE staining, and hence the mucus cells give an empty appearance on HE staining. Okay, this is identification point for the mucous glands. Next is mixed gland. Mixed gland secretes both mucus and enzyme-rich watery secretions. Mucous acini with serous demilunes as the secretory unit. Submandibular gland. Okay. Identification point is mucus acinus is capped with serous cells and that form serous demilunes. And serous demilune is a half moon shaped cap over the mucus acinus and that consists of serous cells. Serous cells of serous demilunes pour their secretion in the lumen of the mucus acinus through the fine canaliculi. Example is submandibular salivary gland. Okay. See here different types of acinus. This is serous acinus. See the nuclei are rounded and towards the middle of the cell and cells are pyramidal in shape and the lumen is very narrow and near the apex of the cells these are the zymogen granules containing the enzymes, okay, and that will be released to the into the lumen. Yes. Lumen of the acinus, zymogen granules will be released into the lumen, okay, through exocytosis. And there is some myoepithelial cells. These are present in all the acinus. Myoepithelial cells helps in contracting the acinus and release the material into the lumen. Next, this is mucus acini. See, it has an empty look. Lumen is wider. Nucleus are flattened and located near the basal lamina. Flat basal nucleus. Pale cytoplasm, wide lumen. These are identification features of mucus acini. And here pyramidal cells, spherical nucleus, apical secretory granules, narrow lumen, myoepithelial cells. And for mixed acini, mucus acinus with serous demilune. Okay. Specific features of these two types of cells will be there. And also myoepithelial cell is present for secretion of the acinus. See here, this is submandibular gland. This is mucus acini, flattened basal nuclei, empty loop, wider lumen. And this is serous acini, rounded nucleus, zymogen granules and a very narrow lumen. Okay. And mucus acini with serous demilune. This is mixed type of acini. And here serous demilunes have been shown. Okay. So these are the difference between the serous cells and mucus cells. Okay, asked in your vivas or important for your MCQs. So serous cells shape and size. Serous cells small pyramidal cells. Mucus cells are large pyramidal cells. HE staining, so basal basophilia, apical eosinophilia. And mucus cells empty cytoplasm. Mucus is removed by tissue processing. Nuclei are rounded and placed in the basal part of the cell. Here nucleus is flat, placed towards the basement membrane. Secretory granules, here is the zymogen granules, here is the mucinogen granules. Okay, so these are the difference between serous cells and mucus cells. Next, this is difference between serous acini, mucus acini. Size is smaller than the mucus acini. Serous acini is smaller in size. Mucus acini larger than the serous acini. Acini type here is compound alveolar, here is compound tubular or tubuloalveolar. Lumen is smaller than the mucus acini, here wider lumen than the serous acini. Cells are serous cells, here it is mucus cells. Secretion is thin, watery, enzyme-rich secretion, here thick, mucoid secretions. Example is parotid gland for serous acini, sublingual gland, mucus acini. And submandibular gland has mixed, okay, both serous and mucus acini. So, three types of salivary glands have three types of secretions, okay. So, here secretion by exocytosis. Merocrine gland, example is merocrine gland. Apocrine gland, pinched off portion of the cell, apical portion is shaded for secretion. Apical portion of cell with secretory products shed off. And here entire cell disintegrates, holocrine gland, cell disintegration. Okay, this is three modes of secretion of the exocrine glands. So example of these three types of glands, merocrine glands secretes by exocytosis. Examples are the merocrine sweat glands and pancreatic acinus cells. And apocrine glands, apical portion of the cell disintegrates. Example are the lactating mammary gland, apocrine sweat gland. Okay, sweat gland are of two types, merocrine type and apocrine type. Holocrine glands wholesale disintegrate as secretion. Examples are sebaceous glands, meibomian glands of the eyelid. So apocrine glands synthesize secretory product and accumulate it in the apical portion, and apical portion of cell along with secretory products are shed off. Examples are these three: lactating mammary gland, apocrine sweat gland, ceruminous glands of the external ear. Next, holocrine gland synthesize and accumulate the secretory product. While discharging the secretion, entire cell disintegrates and undergoes programmed cell death on maturation. An example is sebaceous glands and meibomian or tarsal glands of the eyelids. Okay, this is also one type of sebaceous. See, these are the secretory vesicles. This is secretion of the endocrine gland, secreting the material. The secretory vesicles are present towards the basal side, okay, and they are released directly into the capillary blood. Okay, so this is secretion of endocrine gland. Next, different signaling, okay, paracrine, autocrine. So first is paracrine signaling. Cells secrete substances and that affect other nearby cells. Okay, this is the secretory cells. It is secreting some substance and it is going binding with receptor of the nearby cell and influencing its activity. This is effector cell. So this is known as paracrine signaling. Okay, so cells secrete substances that affect other nearby cells. Secretions do not enter the bloodstream. Cells secrete paracrine substances into the extracellular matrix and these substances reach the target cells by diffusion. For example, vasodilators released by the endothelial cells act on the vascular smooth muscles to produce relaxation of the vascular wall. Okay. Next is autocrine signaling. Here secretory material is secreted and it will act on the same cell. Okay. See, the receptors are present on the same cell and here the secretory material is being released and affecting the function of the cell. So cells secrete a molecule that acts on the same cell by binding with the receptors. Autocrine signaling may activate, give positive feedback or inhibit, that is negative feedback activity of the cell. For example, activation of cells of immune system by the interleukins. Interleukins is also secreted by cells of immune system. So that is autocrine signaling. Next, this is one goblet cell. Okay, this looks like the goblet. See this is secretory vesicles and goblet cell is present in the wall of the intestine, mainly small intestine, different parts of the small intestine and also the large intestine. See here absorptive cells, these are absorptive cells of the small intestine. Here is the basal lamina and this empty looking cells is the goblet cells. As they are mucus cells, mucus is drained out and it gives a empty look. Okay, goblet cell. And there is a basally placed nucleus. From the basally placed nucleus, rest of the cell is regenerated. This is unicellular gland. Goblet cell is unicellular gland. Very frequently asked in your viva. What is unicellular gland? Goblet cell. And this is a mucus cell, mucus secreting cell. So goblet cell as a gland, they are simple columnar cells that work as unicellular glands, present in singly or in other glands. Mode of secretion is this merocrine and sometimes apocrine. So shape is goblet shaped, apical cup shaped portion and base has a narrow stem. Structure is apical portion, cytoplasm of goblet cell has numerous secretory vesicle filled with the mucus. See here, these are secretory vesicles. Okay, apical portion is dilated and the basal portion is narrow stem-like. Okay, like the goblet. Next is HE staining. Apical portion gives an empty appearance as carbohydrate-rich proteins, mucin are washed out during the tissue processing for slide preparation and nucleus is peripherally placed flat and rests in the basal portion of cell just adjacent to the basal lamina. and special stains used for staining the mucin. That is important. You write down. Okay. For staining the mucin, use the periodic acid sip staining, PAS staining. Okay. Imparts magenta color to the mucin. PAS staining imparts magenta color to the mucin, and mucicarmine staining gives deep red color to the goblet cells. These are the special stains used for showing the mucin. Next, we are going to the functions. Functions of goblet cell is secretion of the mucus, and locations are epithelial lining of small and large intestine, respiratory tract, and the conjunctiva. These are the locations. Locations are also important. Goblet cell. See here, this is appendix. Appendix is part of the small intestine. It is part of the intestine mainly. It is attached to the cecum. Okay, cecum of the large intestine. So see these empty looking areas, these are the goblet cells. Other cells are the secretory cells, simple tubular cells. This is the glands. These tubular cells, columnar cells are forming the tubular glands. Here is the surface epithelium. Okay, simple columnar epithelium. So this is the classification of gland. This chart you remember. To summarize, glands are derived from epithelial tissues and they elaborate secretion. So glands are divided into exocrine gland with ducts, endocrine gland ductless. Endocrine glands are of two types, cord and clamp type and follicular type. This will be cord, CORD. Okay, hobe na. And exocrine glands are unicellular and multicellular. Multicellular glands are dividing according to shape of gland, tubular, alveolar or acinar, and tubulo-alveolar. According to the duct, branched or unbranched, simple gland, duct are not branching, complex gland, duct are branching, complex or compound gland. According to manner of secretion, these three types, holocrine, apocrine, merocrine. And according to the development, these three types, ectodermal, mesodermal, endodermal. From three germ layers, they can develop. Okay, so they are classified into, see the development have been shown, exocrine gland and endocrine gland. Here exocrine gland, here is the endocrine gland is developing, and both kinds of glands develop as cord of epithelial cell from the surface membrane and invade the adjoining connective tissue. Exocrine glands secrete out of the body by ducts, and the cells near the termination of epithelial outgrowth are differentiated into secretory cells of the gland. So this part is the secretory cells and these are forming the ducts. And remaining cells which connect the glands to the surface become differentiated to form the lining cells of the duct. And for endocrine glands, secrete directly into the capillaries and require no duct, also known as ductless glands. Here the endocrine gland is developing. Okay, connecting link is lost here. The connecting link between the terminal part of epithelial outgrowth and the surface membrane disappear, and this distal part of the outgrowth forms epithelial islands of the glands and which are permeated by the capillaries. Okay, the red portion, these are representing the capillaries. And the cells clusters, their secretory material are directly released into the capillary blood. So exocrine glands are of two types, unicellular, multicellular. Unicellular is goblet cells secrete mucus by partial destruction of the cell membrane, and secretory cells are incorporated in the epithelial surface. Multicellular glands, see these are schematic diagrams, these you practice for your theory. This is tubular and this is alveolar. Okay, so most of the glands are multicellular and are subdivided under these following types according to the shape of the glands. Tubular glands, when the shape is tubular, straight or coiled. Alveolar or acinus if the gland is flask shaped sac, and it is called alveolar glands. Next, when the shape is rounded, the gland is termed acinus. So this is acinus gland and this is tubulo-alveolar. Some part is tubular, this is acinus and this is alveolar. Okay, tubulo-alveolar. Termed as, when the shape is rounded, the gland is termed acinus, And broadly speaking, both alveolar and acinus glands are called alveolar. And tubuloalveolar is a combination of both types. Next, according to the duct, branch or unbranched, simple gland secretion is conveyed to the surface by unbranched duct. Here, simple gland, one duct is present. Compound gland, when duct branches into elaborate duct system. Okay, multiple branchings are there, tree-like. Okay. Next, according to manner of secretion, holocrine cells disintegrate and die to liberate the secretion. It is a destructive process, sebaceous gland of the skin. Next is apocrine. The luminal part disintegrates and leaving the nucleus and the basal portion from which the cell regenerates. Example, mammary gland. Merocrine or epicrine gland. This term is also used. Okay, this you remember. A merocrine is also called epicrine. The secretion is discharged through the intact cell membrane without destruction of the cell through exocytosis. Example is most of the gland is this type, merocrine. Next, according to development, endodermal glands. These examples you remember. Okay, endodermal glands, mesodermal, ectodermal, mesodermal, and endodermal glands developing from ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. 3 germ layers during fetal development. So, ectodermal glands are glands of the skin, mammary gland, lacrimal and salivary gland, hypophysis cerebri, that is pituitary gland, and chromaffin organs. Okay, this is important. Examples are important for your MCQs. Okay, all these glands are ectodermal, which is not ectodermal, like questions will be coming. Okay, next is mesodermal. Mesodermals are very few glands: suprarenal cortex, gonads, kidneys, and spleen. Next is endodermal. Endodermal glands are thyroid gland, parathyroid, thymus, liver, pancreas, lining cells of all the glands of the alimentary tract. Examples are the salivary glands, of the respiratory tract, prostate, urethral, bulbourethral, and greater vestibular glands. These are Bartholin glands or vulvovaginal glands. All are endodermal in origin. Okay, so this is parotid gland. Okay, it is consist of mainly serous acini. Parotid is serous gland. See, these acinas are dark staining and lumen is very narrow. You cannot see the lumen properly. And these are the connective tissue, dividing it the substance into different lobules. And these are the ducts, sections of the different ducts. Through the ducts, the secretion is released. So like this you will see under the microscope. This is enlarged view of the parotid gland, ducts, and these are the serous acini. Okay. See, this is diagram from the histology atlas. Okay. This is serous acini. Here is this is duct, intercalated duct, striated duct, interlobular excretory duct. These duct staining are the serous acini, and these areas are containing the adipose tissue, and these are sections of the ducts, and these are capillary sections of capillary embedded within the connective tissue. Next, this is thyroid gland. Thyroid gland have also acinas, and it is lined by the cuboidal cells, and they can convert into columnar cells during less activity, and cells become flattened during highly activity of the gland. And within the lumen of the gland, these are the colloid material, thyroid colloid, okay, also known as thyroglobulin. Here the thyroid hormones remain stored, and when there is need in our body, they are released into the blood. This is one endocrine gland, okay, thyroid gland. Enlarged view. This is the thyroid glands, okay, thyroid follicles lined by the cuboidal epithelium. These are connective tissue septum, sections of blood vessels you can see, and there you cannot see any duct. This is ductless. Endocrine gland, you cannot see any duct. And these are of different shapes. Okay, the thyroid follicles they are smaller and larger in size and of different shapes. oval, rounded, angulated, different shape. An important feature is this thyroid colloid is present, and this lining epithelium is cuboidal. Next, this is suprarenal gland. Suprarenal gland has a cortex and a medulla. Okay, cortex has three layers: GFR from outside inward, zona glomerulosa, zona fasciculata, zona reticularis. These three layers consist of the cortex. Okay, and this is medulla. Different patterns, cells are arranged in some areas tubular pattern, some acinar pattern, cells are arranged. Okay, so suprarenal gland develops from mesodermal in origin. Okay, next this is testis, seminiferous tubule, section of seminiferous tubules, and this is seminiferous epithelium. Cells are arranged in multiple layers. Here in the lumen, near the lumen, these are the spermatids. Next, this is prostate gland, compound tubulo-alveolar gland. Okay, see there is multiple branching tubular or alveolar separate acinas, and there will be prostatic concretions will be there. In some parts it will be present, in some it will be absent. And these are the connective tissue. Here you will see the excretory ducts, sections of blood vessels like this. Next, this is ovary. Ovary has primordial and primary follicles. Okay, this is one primary follicle. Ovum is surrounded by cells: zona pellucida, granulosa cells, theca interna, theca externa, like this. And here is follicular cells. This is primary follicle. Ovum is surrounded by single layer of cells. Next, this is exocrine and endocrine pancreas. Exocrine pancreas contain serous acini. Okay, and this light staining part, these are endocrine part. These are islets of Langerhans. This is the difference from parotid gland. Parotid gland also containing serous acini, but islets are absent there. But in pancreas, there is serous acini, and in between this serous acini, some parts you will see the islets of Langerhans. Those are the endocrine part. Okay, that's all. So some of the slide we have focused the histolab. So you go to the histolab, make a queue and go to the histolab. Keep your bags here. Only pen and copy you can take. Okay, this is a section of esophagus. Okay, you see the lumen. Lumen is the star-shaped portion. After that, a clear area, that is lamina propria. After that, there is some mucus, some mucosa. Within the some mucosa, some acini of the glands you can see here. Okay, so you see that portion. So this is section of appendix. Okay, appendix, simple tubular glands are there. Okay, secretory unit is tubular. You see the at the upper part there is the lumen, from there is surface epithelium, there is embedding of this glands, okay, within the substance. Okay, so this is slide of skin, okay, keratinized stratified squamous epithelium and hair follicles you will see, okay. Near the hair follicles there is presence of sebaceous gland, okay. Sebaceous gland is holocrine type of gland and compound tubulo-alveolar.
आपको 100% इंटरनल
Thyroid gland, okay, you will see the follicles of different shapes, and within the lumen of the follicle you will see the pink material in some of the follicles, that is thyroglobulin, and the lining epithelium is cuboidal epithelium, okay, that you have to see. So this is follicular type of the endocrine gland, and liver is cord and clump type of endocrine gland, okay. Here also you will not see any ducts, you will see the sections of capillaries in the connective tissue septas, and the secretory material is directly released into those capillaries. mainly the follicle section connective tissue, and within the connective tissue capillary section of capillaries. Colloid material you see thyroglobulin.